What up, guys? It is a Tuesday, and I know it's a little bit late in the day to give you this video, but I've been making videos and doing all kinds of stuff. Anyway, just wanted to touch base with you about today and what we got. Obviously, good afternoon. I hope all is going well. Again, make sure you make a reminder that you are oh, wow, I gotta change that. Please make sure you take a make. Okay, well, I'll figure that out. But anyway, always great to look at your work and go, ha, I forgot to do something. That's all right. So we are going to have a Zoom meeting on Thursday at 1, so make sure you are ready to go. And again, they're not required, but they all are a good way for us to talk with each other. Again, in today's replies, nobody did it yesterday. I was like very disappointed. Send me a meme. Create a coronavirus meme or find one. I saw one the other day that was hilarious about the whole TP thing. Good stuff. I've posted part 2 of your counterculture lesson. It's a little bit longer, but it does finish out the end of the counterculture. Tomorrow we'll be starting our civil rights stuff as well. And I did post 2 assignments to begin working on, but they're actually kind of fun, and they take their one is due on Friday, but again, do it when you can. Okay, get it in, but do it when you can. The other one's actually not due until after Easter break, so yeah, it's got plenty of stuff for you. So the first one is the freedom of speech in school, and what I want you to do is I really want you to focus on there's some reading there about what you have for what your freedoms are as a student, right? Can you bring stuff to school and not have it searched? Um, that's a kind of a big one, right? Technically, no. If you bring it to school, if I have probable cause to search your backpack or search something that's on you, I can ask and I can actually say, hey, by law, we are required to. Now, I have to have probable cause, and that's the interesting thing. What is probable cause? The armbands is another thing that kind of an interesting court case that went up during the Vietnam War era. What students were wearing armbands in protest, and the school said, nope, you can't wear armbands. They went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court says, hey, as long as it's not detracting or taking away from learning, students have rights too. They don't get to leave their rights at the door when they come onto the school campus. And so this also brings up, can I wear certain shirts? Can I wear something that, might be offensive? And this is, yes, dress code. This is a big part of dress code, right? Oh my goodness, I brought that up again, right? So dress code is a part of that as well. What is acceptable? What is not acceptable? If it's in writing, that's a big part of this whole thing. If I've told you this is the expectation, then by law, legally, and you chose to come to the school or whatever, yes, don't get don't get all riled up about this, but bottom line is you have rights, right? And you need to study those rights. You need to learn about those rights. And of course, that also brings up the rights of flags, right? Should students have the right to display a Confederate flag? Should students have the right to display a Nazi flag or any type of flag that might be a hate symbol? What are the focus points of that? Should students have the right to wear a Christian T-shirt? Should students have the right to wear an atheist or even a somebody that might not agree with your personal religious beliefs? Do they have the ability to say, hey, that offends me and that should be taken off, right? Or turned inside out, or however it comes. So it's unique. It's an interesting type of thing of what your rights are, of your freedom of speech in school. So I want you to study. I want you to kind of delve into it a little bit. Maybe do some little bit more research. This is where this kind of stuff hopefully is a little bit of a piques an interest of what are my rights? What do I actually get to say I can do or I can't do, or what do my teachers say that I can or cannot do? You know what? This is an interesting one, because what are your rights now with the coronavirus and we're home? So does that mean that you don't have to do your work, or do you have to do your work? And what if you don't do your work? Do you still go on and pass your grade? And what is your rights? What if you don't have internet access and can't do it the way that your teacher has instructed you to do it? What are your rights? Wow, that brings up a new part of this equation. All right, this is kind of interesting that I want you to delve into. Now, the next one is the movements that matter to me. And this movements that matter to me, I've given you a list of topics, websites basically, that have a ton of topics on there. They're all about maybe climate change, maybe about the abortion rights, maybe dealing with gun control, maybe all kinds of topics, right? This is because we're dealing with the movements rights, and we're dealing with stuff that really people got passionate about, and they wanted to focus on. So there's a lot of stuff out there. So I want you to choose three. All right, I want you to choose three rights that you or topics that you really want to delve into a little bit more. All right, and then I want you to, in this is not necessarily debate per se, although we might bring up some of them in maybe our Zoom conversation. But what I really want you to do and focus on is you tell me what your basic beliefs, your what you believe, okay? But I also want you to look at the some more research on it. And make sure you focus on the other side of the equation too, okay? Make sure you focus on something that disagrees with you, because a lot of times we get very passionate about something, and we base our argument on an emotional response, right? These are fallacies at times. Now, they could still be true, but a lot of times what happens is we disregard, we tune you out based on your emotional response to it. And this is the biggest part of this process of debating and having a valid conversation back and forth. I'll give you a good example of this, like the Black Lives Matter just a few years ago, and it's still around, but it really became a big deal about 3 or 4 years ago. And one of the biggest things about the Black Lives Matter movement was it was very valid, very, very valid. But the problem is it was co-opted by a small group of individuals that were more violent in their tendencies. All right, and this happens with every movement. We talked about this in class before. But what happened was they crossed the line. They started to do stuff that impeded other people's rights, and so if somebody else's rights get trampled, does that mean that it's okay? Even if it's a very passionate, very valid debate and topic, if you cross over somebody else's rights and hurt their rights in that process, does that negate your argument? And that's a very big part of this process that we have to discover and deal with. So I want you to go into depth on this one. The movements that matter to me activity is kind of a fun one, and I really look forward to reading some of your comments and your thoughts. Right, 3 topics, at least 2 responses or research points, okay? And try to at least have one of those that is opposing your viewpoint, okay? Because that is really one of the best ways to deal with this. And again, you got your daily board work as well. So guys, I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday. I look forward to talking with you more on Thursday at our Zoom. This will be our last Zoom before our break, and we'll take a week off, and we'll come back, and we'll basically have 3 more weeks left. Okay? All right, take care, guys. Bye.